Welcome back to Reddit Story Time. Today we have 4 incredible stories. Let's dive right in.
Story number 1. Boss wanted 2 weeks' notice, company lost thousands. Back in the late 60s, a young man worked at an English factory that made car engines. He was a hard worker, but his immediate boss was the type who loved every scrap of power he had, no matter how small. He would yell at workers and lord his tiny authority over everyone on the floor. One day the company purchased a sophisticated machine from Germany. It was a complex piece of equipment controlled by pegs and wires that had to be physically reconfigured. The company sent a group of workers to Germany for 3 months of training. Our storyteller was not one of them. He stayed behind and watched the German technicians install the machine. And despite the language barrier, he figured out exactly how it worked and how to fix it. He basically taught himself what the training program was supposed to teach. Now, eventually he needed to buy a house. He went to the bank for a mortgage, but his wages of £22 a week were not enough. He needed 44. He asked his boss for a raise. The answer was a flat no. But then a friend mentioned a delivery job between England and France paying £48 a week, more than double his current salary. So our man walked up to his boss and asked, "Sir, who do I give my 2 weeks' notice to?" The boss, loving his little power trip, leaned over him, blew pipe smoke in his face, and said in a low voice, "You hand that to me. I am the boss here. I am the most important." So he did. He handed it directly to the boss, and that is exactly what the boss wanted. Here is what the boss did not understand. The workers who went to Germany spent 3 months in a country known for big beers and pretty women. They learned absolutely nothing. Every technical question got routed to our storyteller because he was the only one who actually understood the machine. By hoarding that resignation and not telling anyone else, the boss ensured that no one had time to learn the machine before he left. 2 months later, the company called begging him to come back. Someone had swapped the motor wires, the machine broke down, and no one could fix it. The company had lost thousands on the machine, the installation, and the flights to Germany. He calmly declined. He was making more money, treated better, and was not about to go backwards. The boss got his power trip. The company got the bill.
And the verdict, power tip backfired expensively.
Story number 2. Teacher said sit quietly, so he sat quietly for 45 minutes. It was a Year 10 maths exam. The teacher handed out the papers and gave one instruction before the start. If you finish early, do not disturb others. Just sit quietly at your desk. One student finished the exam in about 18 minutes. He checked his work twice, still had 45 minutes left on the clock, so he sat there completely still, staring forward, not moving a muscle, not making a sound. Other students kept glancing at him, stressed out of their minds. The teacher kept walking past him, clearly waiting for him to do something wrong. He did not move. He did not reach for a book. He did not pull out his phone. He just sat exactly as instructed, quietly, for 45 full minutes while everyone around him struggled and sweated. After class, the teacher pulled him aside. "You could have read a book or something," she said. His reply was simple and devastating. "You told me to sit quietly." She never gave that instruction again. The beauty of this one is its simplicity. There was no clever loophole, no elaborate scheme. He just did exactly what he was told to do to the letter, and it made everyone around him deeply uncomfortable. That is malicious compliance at its purest. You made a rule, I followed it perfectly, and somehow that was a problem.
And the verdict, rule never used again.
Story number 3. Managers' micromanagement loved the compliance, it backfired. A solar farm technician was doing preventative maintenance on inverters when he noticed a damaged module nearby. He took a picture, noted the location, called his partner to grab a replacement and fixed it, standard stuff. He closed out the ticket and moved on, but the company VP pulled him aside. He was not happy. The problem was not the work, it was the time tracking. The VP demanded that the 5 minutes spent looking at the broken module should have been logged as a separate ticket. Every single micro action needed its own ticket. The technician pointed out that it was all the same site, same hourly rate, same project. The VP did not care. Follow the procedure. Log everything separately, so he did, and then it escalated. Over the next few weeks, he and his partner went from creating 3 to 5 tickets a day to nearly 20. Picked up a piece of trash in the field, new ticket. Answered a coworker's question while working on something else, log into that ticket. broken zip tie, new ticket, responded. To a text from his supervisor, you better believe that was a new ticket. Every single micro action was now documented, logged, and ticketed exactly as the VP demanded. But here is the twist. Unlike most malicious compliance stories, this one backfired. The VP absolutely loved it. At the next monthly crew lead meeting, he gushed about how accurate their ticketing was. He held them up as the gold standard. He told everyone else they needed to come up to this level. The VP got exactly what he asked for. And he wanted more of it. The technician's co-workers now hated him because the bar had been raised for everyone. Sometimes malicious compliance does not punish the rule maker. Sometimes it just makes your own life harder. But the VP did learn one thing. When you demand pedantic compliance, you get pedantic compliance. Be careful what you wish for.
And the verdict, VP loved IT sorry coworkers.
Story number 4. Grandmother demanded handwriting. Got 130 words in 50 minutes. A 16-year-old student in the UK has a genuine medical condition. When he writes by hand for more than 10 or 15 minutes, he gets extreme cramps that lock up his fingers. He cannot move them until the cramp passes. His handwriting is slow and painful, so he does all his schoolwork on a laptop, typing proficiently with one hand. His grandmother, however, is convinced the laptop is the problem. She thinks he works too slowly and that handwriting would be faster. She is wrong, spectacularly wrong, but she will not listen. One day, she confiscates the laptop and puts lined paper in front of him. She tells him he has 50 minutes to write an English transactional writing piece by hand. He looks at the paper. He looks at her, and he grins from ear to ear. He starts writing. He is going as fast as his hand will let him. But after a few minutes, the cramp hits. He tells his grandmother his hand is cramping. She huffs and tells him to stop being a hypochondriac and get on with it. So he does. 2 minutes later, his hand locks up completely. For 8 agonizing minutes, he sits there, hand frozen, trying to stay quiet so her plan can play out. The cramp subsides. He writes a little more. It happens again, 3 times total. By the end of the 50 minutes, he has produced a single 8-line paragraph of about 130 words. His grandmother is furious. She accuses him of going slow on purpose. He explains the situation again. Finally, she lets him use the laptop. In the same 50 minutes, typing one-handed, he produces 3 full paragraphs plus a conclusion. The grandmother never brought up the handwriting again. Sometimes the person making the rules just needs to see the consequences firsthand.
And the verdict, laptop permanently restored.
That's all for today. If you enjoyed these stories, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more. See you next time.